Hi guys, welcome to A Cumbrian Lad Outdoors and welcome to another video. We're out in tents today. We're parked up at Watendlath National Trust car park and we're heading up towards High Tove or possibly even High Seat for the evening. We'll see when we get up there. Car park is just past that wall. We've just come through that gate. Got a lovely little bubbling beck. That's the way we're heading. As you can see, we've got Daz and Andy from the Bewley Brothers. So it's going to be a great camp. We had a cracking hammock camp last weekend. I was still a bit bad fettle and it was just what I needed. So me and the lads had a good chill in the woods. If you haven't seen that video already, it's my last one, so you can go and check that out. So yeah, we're going to crack on up to High Tove. Well, we are almost at the top of that first climb, and let me tell you, it's fairly steep. If you ever do come this way and it's wet, you need to pay particular attention to the path. It's quite well stoned, however it's covered in moss and lichen and it's very slippery. A little bit of a pet hate mine, these stone paths that the National Trust put in. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know they need to make sure that the path's clear and well visible and stuff, but two reasons for me. Number one, they're absolute ankle snappers. You know, it's an accident waiting to happen. And two, because of that, many people don't walk on them. So it ends up defeating the purpose of putting them in the first place. So just a little gripe. So yeah, you can see the path there and you can see just how well covered in moss and slippy stuff the stones are. But we are right above the tarn at Watendlath now, and you can see we do have mist in the distance, but hopefully we won't end up in that. And that ridgeline just past the tarn, I'm really fancying that for a wild camp. I think I'm going to have to do a little bit of research, see what that's called, and definitely head up there sometime. It looks really pretty. The colour difference from the green at the tarn to the burnt orange to the brown at the top is just beautiful. We're going to head up and go through this gate just in front of us. Then I think we turn to the right slightly and then we veer off to the left up to our destination for the evening. We are through that little gateway and halfway or so up the hill towards High Tove. Tarn is now well out of view. We have just stopped for a little break. As you can see, it's very boggy underfoot, so we're kind of hoping we can find a few dry spots up the top to pitch the tent. But we are staying on the clag and it does seem to be clearing somewhat as well, which is good. And we do have a 180 panorama, which is quite pretty, so I'll show you that. I think that summit in the centre of shot there must be High Seat, I believe. Spin you around nice and slowly. Colours are just stunning, browns, greens, burnt oranges, almost purples in some places as well. However, nothing as stunningly beautiful as the two handsome chaps that I'm camping with tonight.
Oh, give over.
Right, let's crack on. Wind is picking up a little bit now. It's not terrible. We are forecast gusts of around about 18 miles an hour tonight, so nothing that we or our kit can't handle at all. We have just reached a bit that is very wet. Yeah, you can see there, it's very, very wet. We've got some logs and we've also got some bags of stones, which I'm presuming is to make some more paths that must have been dropped off by helicopter. You can see there, I've been doing some work. Very wet here. Just behind me, I believe, is the summit of where we're heading for the night, High Tove. unless that's a false summit. But yeah, I don't think we're too far away from the top now, so we'll get ourselves up there and hopefully get some nice views from the top. We are very near the top of High Tove now. It is still boggy underfoot, but I've just spotted some, I don't know whether it's grass or a flower or lichen, but the red colours are just stunning, man. Look at that. It's a bit sodden like, but like I say, the colours are just stunning. And here we go, summit of High Tove. Done, boshed. And a huge thank you to our brother Adam in the Wild. He's the one that let me know about this little place. He said it was beautiful, 360 views up here, and he wasn't wrong. Unfortunately, Adam couldn't join us on this one. He is boxing for the Yorkshire title, I believe, tonight, and then he's going to be training for a British title. So I'm sure you'll smash it, brother, and thank you very much for the heads up on this lovely little summit. So let's have a look at the 360 views. We'll start off with High Seat in the distance. Can't quite see Thirlmere, but that is just below us. Some beautiful mountains and unfortunately some clag on top of them. A lovely little panorama this, it really is. What an absolute cracker. Right, me and the lads are going to go and have a wander around and see if we can find ourselves a dry pitch for the night. We have just wandered over from High Tove. You can just see High Tove in the centre of shot there. Really struggling. We found one spot where we might get a pitch with 3 tents, but we've just followed this path and we're more or less right at the bottom of High Seat now. Struggling to find a pitch, to be honest. The wind is picking up. We could do with getting the tent set up and get out the wind. We have found one spot here. It is a little bit close to the path, but we're now 3:15. It'll be pitch dark by 5 o'clock, so I don't think we're expecting to bump into anybody else unless they are also wild camping. And we'll be up and away early in the morning, so we're still just trying to make our minds up whether we pitch here or whether we head up to High Seat and see what it's like up there. In the end, we decided to stay put and not go up High Seat. By the time we got up there, and if there wasn't any pitches, we wouldn't have got back here in time. Unfortunately, we are camped a little bit close to the path, which isn't perfect, but the time of night that we're at, we're not going to get many, if any, passers-by, and if they are, they're also wild campers. We've managed to get camped pretty close to each other. I'm in the Scarp, Daz is in the Helm Compact 2, and Andy is in the Fox 2. My standard winter setup in there now: Sea Summit Etherlight XT Extreme, my cheap pillar and my OEX Leviathan EV900. I've got an all-day breakfast for morning and a real Termat pulled pork for tea tonight. I'm off the beers again, so I've got some whiskey and some Coke and some water. Got me trusty jet boil, used that a few times now and absolutely loving that. I do have my chair with me, but I haven't got that set up yet. I do also have my drone with me, but with the wind, it's looking unlikely that I'm going to get that up. I haven't had the drone up for ages. And that wind, man, when setting up the tent, wow, my fingers are freezing. I've got some hand warmers in my pocket, which have done the treat. I'd just like to say another big shout out to Flextail Gear for sending me the V2 of the Tiny Pump X. Second time I've used it, and it is, yeah, slightly quicker at blowing my mat up, but not a great lot. But what a fantastic little pump it is. And I was skeptical at first about this light diffuser, but it really does work. It just stops the glare of the light in your eyes and still lights your tent up really, really well. If you're fancying a Tiny Pump X, version 1, version 2, or anything from Flextail Gear, if you use the code FLEXTAIL15 on the website, you'll get yourself 15% off. Yeah, I think I'm just going to sit inside the tent use my hand warmers and get my hands nice and warm. I think they're still a bit chilly. And then it will be beer o'clock, or in my case, a whiskey o'clock. Not a bad little view out the tent though. Look at that. Right, we're going to have a wee chill and we'll see you soon. Right guys, me and the lads have been sat out having beer o'clock, and I'll be honest, I'm half cut. Whoa, the whiskey is doing a good job because that wind chill in the last 5 minutes has cooled down rapidly. I've had my first go at doing the time lapse with the Action 3, so we'll see how that turns out. And the light is starting to fade and the wind is picking up, so let's just have a look around. We've got Helvellyn there. We've got a Helm 2 and a handsome man right there. We've got a Fox 2 and a handsome man right there. Another cracking camp, but the temperature is starting to plummet. So we're all probably going to grab some food right about now. We're all getting ready for it, and then I'll bring you back once I'm back in my tent. Right, it's time for food. I'm really ready for this. So I'm not going to bore you with boiling up the water and cooking the real Tarptent pulled pork. You've seen that before. It's nice to get inside out of this wind. Man, this wind is cold. The temperature outside is about 5 degrees and about 6-mile-an-hour winds, but the wind chill is savage, man. It really is. My hands are cold even though I've got the warmers in my pocket. So yeah, I'm going to get the food on and I'll bring you back once I've had that. Well, that real Tarptent pulled pork sure did the job. If anyone's watching this and are in any doubt as to what dried foods to buy for camping, real Tarptent, I swear on my life, is the best camping food you will have up on top of a fell. If you're not cooking proper steak or anything like that. It's filled the belly, I'm nice and warm. I've got my hand warmers in my pocket. And me and the lads are ready for a good night's kip. We were hoping to sit out a little bit longer and have a little bit longer beer o'clock, but the wind chill just says no. It just says no. Right, it's definitely time to go to sleep, guys. And I've got a little companion tonight. Tactical Duck is cuddled in well, and it's time to go to sleep. If you know, you know. If you don't, I can't tell you. Right, sleep time. I will definitely see you in the morning. guys, it's now 20 past 5. The other guys are still fast asleep, so I'm going to make a start getting packed up, and I'm going to get myself away down the hill. I'll see if I can get some footage in the dark on the way down. Well, it's nearly time to go home. That's me all packed up. You can see where my tent was, just there, and I've got my rubbish bag on my rucksack. So as always, and as it should be, I'm going to be leaving no trace. Daz is just starting to get up, but Andy is still sound asleep. She's boggy. Just having to take it a wee bit careful on the walk back, with it being dark. But should only be about a 40-45 minute walk back to the car. Well, that's me back at the car. Exactly 35 minutes to get down, and it took us an hour to get up with filming and stuff like that, so that's not too bad. Cracking little wild camp that. Really enjoyed that with the Beauty Brothers. The training for the Cumbria Way is going really well because my legs didn't feel that at all. Legs are brand new this morning, and I'm officially a stone lighter than I was on New Year's Day. 15 stone 3 on New Year's Day and 14 stone 3 when I weighed myself yesterday morning, so that's really good. Really looking forward to the Cumbria Way. If you fancy helping me out and sponsoring me to do it, I'll put a link to the Just Giving page in the description, and anything that anyone can donate will be massively appreciated for the North Air Ambulance. And I've not really pushed it too hard just recently with doing the fundraising, but I do have some merch, some t-shirts and some hoodies, etc. I'll also put a link to that in the description if anyone fancies checking it out. So definitely time to get myself away home. Thank you very much for clicking on the video, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we all have. So once again, until next time, stay safe, much love from a Cumbrian lad.